If you caught part one, you know we covered everything production-wise, from setting up cameras to dialing in lighting so your shots don't look like a terrible Zoom call from years ago. If you missed that initial episode about capturing the raw footage, you should definitely go check it out first before diving into the next stage. Today, however, we are tackling post-production, the crucial part that actually transforms a raw, lengthy interview into something people genuinely want to watch and share online. I'll walk you through my entire workflow, covering the editing foundation, audio syncing, color correction, necessary audio cleanup, and my favorite trick for turning long episodes into short viral clips. This final step is made significantly easier this time by using a smart tool that saves a ton of manual effort. All right, let's jump right into the edit. For this demonstration, I'm in DaVinci Resolve, where I handle the heavy lifting, and I've already imported all of my raw media files. We have the two separate camera angles, one for the host and one for the guest, each with their reference audio from the on-camera mic, plus that beautiful, clean audio from the dedicated podcast mics. The very first thing I do is lay all those files onto the timeline, but don't stress about trimming them perfectly just yet, because we'll clean that up with a mix of tools and small manual adjustments. When it comes to syncing audio, you can always bypass timecode hassles by right-clicking and selecting the auto-align clips feature based on waveform comparison. This function compares the sound waves and lines, everything up, precisely, which works flawlessly about 9 times out of 10 and saves an absolutely massive amount of setup time. After syncing, I usually trim the beginning and end tails so the visuals start and stop simultaneously, and then I finally swap out that poor in-camera audio for the high-quality external mic tracks. If your audio tracks are properly labeled, this becomes a simple drag-and-drop operation. Just enable snapping and slide the clean mic audio directly underneath its corresponding camera clip to lock it in place. Now, if you're managing several shows each week, performing that manual trimming and audio switching routine for every episode quickly becomes a huge, repetitive pain. A few creators turn to dedicated multicam editing tools like Autopod, which are great at taking that long conversation and cutting it into a coherent, watchable visual flow. Autopod is definitely useful because it automatically cuts based on who is actually speaking, and the built-in presets let you dial in exactly how jumpy or how calm you want the edit pacing to feel. However, it's not always perfect. It often leans toward more conservative cuts that might miss dynamic moments, sometimes deleting the secondary camera track instead of just disabling it. Furthermore, its automated scoring for identifying the best moments can frequently feel a bit generic, and integration with your existing software stack can sometimes be clunky. This is precisely where a smart tool like Vizard really starts to shine brighter in the workflow. Vizard goes beyond a simple multicam cut by analyzing the conversation semantically to prioritize those moments likely to perform really well as short-form social content. If you are producing a podcast and need to generate a consistent stream of social clips without spending agonizing hours on manual work, that semantic analysis is absolute gold for efficiency. But we will circle back to that powerful clip generation feature later on, because first, we need to lock down our framing, color, and sound quality. Sometimes after the main edit is complete, I need to slightly nudge the framing on a shot, maybe to zoom in a little and crop out a distracting background element, or just tighten up a medium shot. You do have to be a bit more cautious with that zooming if you shot everything in standard HD resolution, whereas having 4K footage gives you a lot more freedom to reframe without losing quality. For color grading, I always begin by batching all of my clips together so I can apply global adjustments efficiently. In Resolve, this means Option or Alt-clicking a track to isolate all the guest clips, then right-clicking to add them into a group specifically labeled Guest, and then repeating that same process for the host. This group-based grading method saves a massive amount of time and is the key to keeping both speakers visually consistent across the entire episode. If you shot your footage in a flatter color space like S-Log3, the essential first step is applying a color space transform effect to convert it to a neutral starting point. You simply set the input color space and input gamma to match your camera's log profile, which ensures all subsequent adjustments behave in a predictable manner. I prefer to handle exposure tweaks next by using the HDR wheels mapped to the camera's original color space so that highlights and midtones respond much more naturally. After that, I use the lift, gamma, and gain controls to establish the overall contrast of the shot and balance the primary colors. For setting the overall white balance, I often find that using the offset wheel gives a more natural final result than constantly fiddling with the separate temperature and tint sliders. Next, I always add a dedicated node for saturation adjustments and use the color slice or dedicated saturation controls until the image looks exactly how I want it to. If you have the studio version of the software and want a slightly more cinematic or film-like aesthetic, you can add a gentle vignette, a subtle glow, or some tasteful grain. Once happy with the look, grab a still frame of that group grade and apply it as the starting point to the other group, which still needs tweaking for those individual differences in lighting or skin tone. Because people rarely look absolutely identical under the same light, you will still need to go back and manually tweak the shadows and highlights for each person separately. Moving on to audio, which is arguably the real secret weapon when it comes to keeping viewers around for the long haul. If you're using external gear like a Rodecaster or Rode Connect, always utilize their on-device presets because they pre-apply useful compression, EQ, and a bit of air right out of the box. That initial hardware processing gives your voices a fantastic polished foundation that makes them sound immediately better before you even touch your main editing suite. However, even with great pre-processing, you still absolutely need to address residual room echo and any persistent low-frequency background hum that might be present. I usually keep the onboard processing active for that nice depth and punch, and then use the software's built-in tools for the final delicate cleanup pass. A high-pass filter to surgically remove low-end rumble is always my very reliable first corrective step in the software. If your recording unit has a noise gate, that's fine, but I generally prefer applying dedicated voice isolation or noise reduction directly at the track level inside the editor for better control. When setting that isolation level, aim for somewhere between 30 and 60, depending on how aggressive the room echo is, because you want to keep the natural room reverb, not kill it completely. For compression, keep the settings light if your hardware already did a good job. If not, a gentle compressor evens out those loud laughs and quiet speaking moments to boost overall intelligibility. Once the picture and the audio are finally looking and sounding their absolute best, the next step is to export a full-length render of the entire episode. You don't need to go completely crazy on resolution settings when your primary goal is creating social clips, as a 720p or even just an auto-quality MP4 is often perfectly sufficient and makes uploads much faster. Now we get to the part that's genuinely fun, turning that long-form episode into those short, instantly shareable, viral-ready clips. So many creators either spend hours manually hunting for the best few moments, or they rely on basic tools that only look at volume amplitude or other simple heuristics, which is painful. Tools like Opus or even some multicam apps do an okay job finding potential clips, but they often completely miss the critical nuance, context, catchy hooks, emotional spikes, and current trends. The platform I use, Vizard, approaches this entirely differently because it analyzes the conversation semantically to find moments that are statistically likely to perform well as short-form videos. It specifically looks for strong conversational hooks, clear emotional beats, provocative statements, and segments packed with high-value information. Vizard then ranks these potential clips based on a comprehensive virality score that weighs hook strength, flow, information density, and relevance to current trends. From there, you can easily filter the results based on the desired output length, whether that's for a 30 to 90 second Instagram reel or a tighter 15 to 60 second TikTok. Here is how I personally use it. After I upload the full video, I paste in the transcript, set my preferred clip length parameters, and just let Vizard work its magic. It spits out a whole batch of short clips, and each one comes packaged with a suggested thumbnail, an auto-generated title, a caption option, and styled subtitle options. Most crucially, the platform provides a confidence rating for each clip, so I always skim the highest rated ones first because the AI nails the potential winners about 70 to 80% of the time. For those clips that the AI didn't rate highly, I can always manually search the original transcript inside Resolve if I feel the need to craft a slightly different alternate cut. When editing for maximum shareability, remember that the very first sentence needs to deliver an immediate punch. That could be an emotional shock, a controversial take, or an unexpected piece of information. That is your hook. After securing the hook, the clip must deliver only one clear idea or a very short, concise story arc because viewers have extremely short attention spans. Also, always consider topic trends. A clip that neatly taps into a current social conversation or meme has a significantly higher chance of gaining traction and going viral. Vizard also has an extremely useful auto-schedule feature that I love because it handles all the tedious uploading work for me. Instead of manually exporting dozens of clips and then uploading them one by one across all your social channels, you set a posting cadence and Vizard queues and publishes them automatically. Pairing that scheduling tool with the built-in content calendar means you can see exactly what is going live and when, and you can reschedule, retitle, or swap clips all from one central location. For any solo creator or small team, this level of automation and reduced context switching is an absolutely massive efficiency win. One small thing to keep an eye on is the automatic subtitle styles, because you must ensure the font and background choice works well with the specific crop on each platform, as some cuts can hide important words. The great news is that Vizard allows you to fully customize subtitle templates so you can maintain your brand consistency without having to re-export every single clip from your editor. To offer a quick comparison note, tools like Autopod are fantastic for handling the initial multicam arrangement and are great if that is all you ever need. Other dedicated clip extractors can certainly pull out segments, but they often completely lack a robust, integrated social scheduling pipeline, which leaves you hanging. Vizard's main advantage lies in its end-to-end flow. Intelligent clip selection, automated styling, auto-scheduling, and the content calendar all working together, saving you weeks of administrative work over a year of weekly episodes. To wrap things up, here is my complete post-production workflow in a nutshell. Import and sync via waveform, swap in the clean mic tracks, perform a quick multicam cut, batch grade by group, clean up the audio, then compress the audio using hardware presets alongside Resolve's voice isolation. Export the full file at a sensible bitrate, and finally, upload it to Vizard for extraction, styling, and scheduling. That whole process effectively turns a single 2-hour episode into a full month's worth of engaging social content within a single productive afternoon. If you are currently juggling a podcast and trying hard to grow your presence across all the social platforms, this is genuinely the workflow that helped me scale without completely burning out. Vizard is not some magic bullet. You still have to choose good discussion topics and ask insightful questions, but it makes the tedious extraction and scheduling part so much faster and smarter. If you want me to dive deeper, please drop a comment below and tell me what kind of podcast you run, so I can show you the specific Vizard settings that work best for interviews versus solo shows or panel discussions. And if you found this entire breakdown valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe right now for more practical, actionable production tips delivered right to you. I'm always happy to explore any single step in more detail, whether you want to know more about my personal audio chains, the specific color LUTs I use, or general clip strategy. Thanks for watching this part, and I will see you all in the next video.